Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Frison, and this is my mom, Mickey. I am the son of United States Army First Lieutenant Demetrius Frison. I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for attending this very special TAPS event tonight. I was only 6 months old when my dad was killed in Afghanistan. Fortunately, my mother heard about TAPS, and we started to attend camps, family campouts, and seminars. In November of 2018, I attended my very first Good Grief camp. I was 6 years old. It was then I was finally old enough to understand that TAPS is a place filled with kids like me who have also lost someone special that served in the military. I also learned that Good Grief camps are filled with service members who unselfishly give up their leave, their vacations, and so much more of their own free time just to help all of us TAPS kids. This is where I first met Nicole. I remember she let me hug and wrestle her, but more importantly, she quickly became my friend and someone I knew instantly that I could trust not only with my silliness, but also my sadness. Nicole is always there for me, even outside of Good Grief Camp. When the world shut down for COVID, she and other mentors had a weekly video chat to check in on us. And during that same year of social distancing, when I got my tonsils taken out, even though she couldn't be physically there with me, she sent me the coolest Get Better Soon care package. It was filled with so many of my favorite TAPS things. Nicole always remembers the little details. She texts in with my mom and me all the time. And no matter what, she's a person I can depend on for advice, a big hug, or just to kick around a soccer ball with when I don't feel like talking. Anyone that knows me well knows that soccer is the love of my life and the key to my heart. So speaking of soccer balls, in 2022, Nicole had to let me know that she was being stationed in Hawaii and would be moving away from being so close to where I live on the East Coast. I was so sad that she wouldn't be within driving distance anymore. I knew it wasn't a goodbye, but just a see you later for now kind of thing. But of course, I would still be missing her. The very first time I got to see her after her move was at TAPS Nationals, and she walked right up to me with a soccer ball tucked under her arm. But not just any soccer ball, a Paradise SC soccer ball from Hawaii for my collection. It sits on a shelf in my room, and not even my mom is allowed to touch it. Like I said before, Nicole always remembers the little details. Nicole is a part of our family. She is my TAPS person, and I don't know how I would be during those tough times missing my dad without her. I am so happy she is receiving the TAPS 2024 Military Mentor of the Year Award. It is my honor to introduce to you my mentor and friend, Sergeant First Class Nicole McMinamin.
Wow, okay. Thank you for that warm welcome, and thank you, Mickey and Chris, for being here. It means a lot to me. My mom and brothers are also with me tonight, and thank you for always supporting me. I want to thank Bonnie Carroll for allowing me to be a part of this amazing organization, TAPS. It feels funny to be up here speaking to you from the stage. Usually I'm in the crowd with 2 kids in my lap and a photo button in hand, or playing Uno with Chris and some of the other mentees. But I always get stuck with the cards, and they win every single time. I don't know how it works. But I am honored to be selected to be the 2024 TAPS Military Mentor of the Year by my fellow peers, military mentors. To be nominated by your peers is humbling. I follow in the footsteps of the previous military mentors of the year, Carl Gilbert, John Roten, Clinton Sherwin, Daniel Davenport, Rob Rice. And well, that's just awe-inspiring to me. Please stand so all of you can be recognized as well. In reality, you could toss a ball into any Good Grief camp and it would be caught by a candidate worthy of consideration for Military Mentor of the Year. TAPS has recruited the best veterans, service members from across the country, from every branch of service, to care for kids who have lost a military loved one. They train us, they support us, and pair us with the most vulnerable military survivors, kids ages between 5 and 18. Last year, TAPS engaged over 5,000 mentors. Those mentors volunteered 60,000 hours caring for the children of the fallen, and we do this on our own time. With sponsors like the NFL, New York Life, USAA, and American Airlines, who support the Military Mentor Program, TAPS is able to pair kids with someone who understands sacrifice and service because they have lived it. I am a mortuary affairs specialist in the Army, currently stationed at the Defense POW MAA Accounting Agency. Within the last 2 weeks, I recently returned from the Solomon Islands, where we were conducting investigative operations to find missing in action service members from World War II in the Guadalcanal area. This brings me back to my first deployment in 2007 in Kirkuk into Tikrit, Iraq, and never leaving a fallen comrade, which is a part of our warrior ethos. It was a difficult deployment, as is every deployment, but for me, this was the first time I really understood that tomorrow is not promised to anyone. When we began the process of bringing fallen service members home, there was no time to talk about feelings and emotions back then. We had an honorable job to do it, and that's what we did. My journey with TAPS began in 2015 after my second deployment to Afghanistan. While being stationed with the 4th ID, 704th BSB, at Fort Carson in Colorado, there was an email that went out to everyone on base, asking for military mentor volunteers to companion children of the fallen service members during a good grief camp. Immediately, I knew that was something that I wanted to do. Through TAPS, I realized families of military survivors continue to hurt more than I ever expected. The pain never goes away. People learn how to live differently, maybe appreciate the smaller things in life a little bit more, and are grateful for so much more. By being there for the kids and having the ability to provide them a safe place to express what they are feeling and sharing stories of their loved one, it gave me the opportunity to express my thoughts and emotions as well. That weekend changed my life forever. There are some tough moments with what I do, and in 2019, I was stationed at Dover Air Force Base as a liaison to the families of the fallen. Every time a fallen soldier would come back from home or from overseas, the first stop would be at U.S. soil, would be at Dover Air Force Base. The dignified transfer is where the families would be present to witness their loved one returning to the United States. It was one of the hardest parts of my job, but the most honorable. Thanks to my work with TAPS, I was able to talk to the family members and support them during one of their worst moments in their lives. I was able to let them know that they were not alone. I still remember the very first family that I assisted at Dover. It was a wife and her 3 kids. They had lost their hero when he was killed in action in Afghanistan. Fast forward to a regional seminar in Florida. I was walking with other military mentors, and we could see a family off in the distance sitting on a bench, and you could hear crying echoing through the lobby. As I approached the family to offer support, I immediately dropped to my knees. I said, "I know you." And we hugged as the mom admitted that they were not doing okay at that moment. We spoke for a few minutes, and as I said goodnight to them, I was thinking to myself about the TAPS magic, and a sense of comfort filled my heart, knowing that TAPS exists to help families through their journey. I knew for certain they would emerge stronger, with support, resources, and a new family, TAPS family, to rely on as they traveled through their grief. I also want to tell you about my 7-year-old mentee, who upon learning that I was still in the military, asked why I wasn't dead yet, like her father. That was a gut punch moment. Kids speak without filters. I had to take a deep breath before answering that question. And then I said, it's always important to talk about what bothers you and not hold things in. It brought home the important role that TAPS plays in military mentors play in the lives of these innocent children. We are there to honor their loved one. We are there to support the children and guide them, as well as ensuring that they are still part of our military community long after the end of the grief camps. We get to help them grow into resilient adults. Being a TAPS mentor is more than just being there for the kids. It is about a growing family. We are there for the adults too. When TAPS events are over, connections continue to grow and families, mentors keep in touch. We go to their soccer games, their swim meets, we have dinners together, we set up video chats. We are the sounding board for adults, for kids, mentors, and the voice for adults and kids. We answer questions about the person that they go to TAPS to honor. We answer questions and explain the military roles that their person may have had. We are the bridge that fills the gap between the military and the family members that they lost. Their loved ones will never be replaced, but they will always be honored, spoken about, and remembered. Sometimes I stay up at night, wondering where those kids would be without TAPS and the military mentors. So tonight I ask you, please say a prayer for these families and all those who have lost a military loved one. TAPS will always be there for them with open arms 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And thank you.